Most people are drowning in information. Articles, PDFs, links, YouTube videos, and then we forget everything we've saved. One of my favorite AI tools right now is called NotebookLM. NotebookLM is the first AI tool that doesn't just answer your questions, it actually organizes your brain. So it reads what you read, studies what you study, and teaches it back to you. So if you're tired of the hallucinations that you get from other AI tools, or if your knowledge is scattered across 20 apps or tabs on your laptop, and if you want to master topics in days rather than months, this tool will outperform every other AI tool you've ever tried, hands down. So today I'm showing you exactly how to use Google's Notebook AI to create podcasts that coach you, videos that explain your research, courses that you can sell and make money from, quizzes that test you, and really a research system that makes you unbeatable. My goodness, I'm so ready to dive in. But first, I want to welcome you back. If you have been a subscriber to my channel, I truly appreciate you for coming back all the time and the support. I love you. And those of you, if you're watching this for the first time, I'm Obasa, and I teach you how to scale your revenue and productivity using AI. So let's dive in. So when you first log into NotebookLM, you'll see your library of notes. So down here, these are some notes that came with NotebookLM. And then down here are just some of the notes that I have started to create. I want you to think about each note as your dedicated brain. So you could use a note for a course that you're creating, another note for research, a topic, or a completely different project. That's how to think about notes. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new note. So I'm going to click over here and create new. And NotebookLM is going to show me this screen. Now, this screen allows me to add all the sources that I want NotebookLM to use for my research, right? The thing about NotebookLM is it's not like ChatGPT. You know how ChatGPT would do research, global research, and it will search millions and millions and millions of places, hence why it hallucinates, because it's trying to use so much information out there, and then sometimes it gives you back good stuff, and let's face it, sometimes it gives you back nonsense, right? NotebookLM literally only focuses on the sources that you give it. And get this, NotebookLM takes up to 300 sources. That's 300 sources. So that means if you're doing any research and let's say you come across some YouTube videos, you could put in 300 YouTube videos and it will do the research on those videos for the topic that you are preparing, saving you hours and days and weeks of research yourself. So this specific screen that it takes you to is the very first place that you go to add your sources. So I'm going to click up here and you can upload sources. You get to choose a file. You can even upload directly from Google Drive, as you can see here. You can add links from various websites. You can add links from YouTube, like I mentioned. You can even just copy some text from wherever and add it in there. So that covers you when it comes to uploading PDFs, text files, YouTube videos, website URLs, audio files, and more. So before we start adding things, I want to quickly orientate you. So let's pretend like we've already added things. So I'm going to click X so that we can see here. I want to show you how this works. So on the left, you have all the sources that you add. It will go over here on the left. This is what you give NotebookLM. In the middle here is where you talk to NotebookLM and you tell it what you want to do with the sources. So on the left, you're sowing a seed. In the middle, you're allowing the seeds to germinate, and on the right, you are harvesting the seed. So this is where the magic happens on the right-hand side here, and this is where you get back your output, whether it's a video overview you wanted or an audio podcast, anything like that, that you needed, a mind map, reports, flashcards, a quiz, infographic, a slide deck. It gives you all of the good stuff, the magic on the right-hand side. This is your harvest, guys. If you love it, show me that you loved it by giving me a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. It helps the video get more visibility and it means the world to me. Thank you in advance. And of course, if you haven't subscribed to this channel and you like what you see, join the family. Hit that subscribe button. I would really appreciate it. I want to make a video to show you how I'm going to use NotebookLM to make my next 6 figures. Do you want to see that? Let me know in the comments. Just type in, show me how to use NotebookLM to make 6 figures. And I will record a video about that specifically. Okay, so I want to show you some of the magic and how it works. Imagine you've been asked to deliver a workshop for, let's say, small business owners on how AI can help them to grow their business faster. Now, you need to deliver this workshop in a couple of days. So you don't have the time for weeks and weeks of research. And, you don't really have the time to go looking and watching videos and all of those things. What you do is you use NotebookLM to help you. So let's do it together. So NotebookLM, back when it first came out, you had to find all of your sources and put it in there. But with one of the latest updates that came out, it means that NotebookLM can actually go out and find those sources for you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new note and I'm going to show you exactly how that works. So over here, I'm going to click on Create a Note. I'm going to click over here to Discover Sources. And then I'm going to rename this Building a Workshop on AI for Small Business Growth, because that's the name of my workshop. And so here so in most AI tools, you have to research for hours and you have to pull out sources and you're opening 20 different tabs of things that you need to use. But I'm going to ask NotebookLM to do the work for me. So what I'm going to do is paste in a prompt here. So the prompt is this: find high quality sources that explain how AI is helping small businesses automate tasks, market smarter, and improve customer service. And then I have two options. I have web and I have fast research. You can use either of those, but because I wanted to do wider research, I'm actually going to select web here. I'm going to click on this blue button and it's going to start searching sources across the web for me. So look at this. Within seconds, it surfaced some really credible resources for me. So it's given me some guides that are out there, some PDFs that are out there, some links. So if I open this, I can see that it's given me some really, really, really good stuff here. 10 affordable AI chatbot platforms for small businesses, AI workflow automation, how to save time and scale small businesses, and so on and so forth. So it has done the research for me and brought them as sources. So these are sources that somebody else has created. So somebody else has done the work. What NotebookLM has done is that it's pulled in those sources that it deems as credible and brought them in for me to use. So what you want to do is you want to go through the sources, and if there's anything that you think doesn't really work for, for whatever it is that you're working on, you can simply do this and untick it. And that's it. But I'm going to keep that. And if you want to open each link, you can hit these arrows and it will open on a completely different tab. And then you can have a look at the link, the content of the link, to make sure that it works. So this right here is a special report. Right here, special report AI trends for 2026 and beyond. It's brilliant for my research. So I want a little bit more sources. So I'm going to ask it another question, but from a completely different angle. But before I do that, I first need to import all of the research that I have done so far. So I'm going to click on this import button and it's going to move that over to this section because that becomes my working document. Whilst it's doing that, it's imported all my 10 sources. You can see I want to ask a completely different question because I want more sources. So I'm going to paste in another prompt, which is this: find research on top skills small business owners need to stay competitive as AI evolves. Again, I make sure it's on the web and I'm going to hit enter and it's going to do the same thing again and find me even more credible resources to add to the sources that I already have. Whilst it's doing this next research, I want to show you what it's doing here. Remember I said this left section is all about sowing your seed. And then this middle section is letting your seed marinate, letting it germinate, right? Letting it grow. And then the output, this right side is your output, which is your harvest. So let's look at the middle section, what it's doing. So what it's done in this middle section is that it has summarized the very first 10 resources that I already added in. So it's telling me exactly what it is, just a summary. So imagine I didn't even have to look through these 10 resources to deem whether they are good or not. I mean, I did like a 2-second check to tick and untick, but look, it's summarized it, letting me know that it's good. It's highlighted key terms. So it's highlighted artificial intelligence, chatbots, workflow automation, large language models, lack of understanding, and so on, pointing out the various things that my presentation needs to have in order for it to be credible. So now, if we go back to the left side, okay, so now it has given me some more sources based on the new question that I have asked. So I'm just going to click on import, and now it has all of these additional sources. You can see that it is now importing to add to the sources that I had before. So as you can see, I had 10 sources before, now I have 20 sources. And remember what I said, NotebookLM can take up to 300 sources at a time. So looking at the sources, I can see this information sign here. It says invalid URL. Please check the URL and try again. So no AI is perfect. So there might be something that has dropped. Now I know that these are credible sources because one of them is from Forbes. So I'm not quite sure why that URL was invalid. I'm not quite sure why that URL doesn't work. But I'm going to leave it. I have enough sources to move forward for now. The next thing I want to show you is how you can add your own files to the research that NotebookLM already did for you. So let's say you've pulled in all of the resources that NotebookLM has given you, but perhaps you already had some research that you had done yourself and you want to add that. You simply go back here to the left and click on Add Sources, and then you can then upload your sources, maybe some links to websites, YouTube videos, copied text, anything of that nature. You can add it here. And then once that's added, it will join all of the original sources that you had already added earlier. So it could be a PDF from a previous workshop I delivered. I could add that. Screenshots from real business dashboards. I could add that. A YouTube talk I found insightful. A Google Doc of my notes. There literally is no limit. NotebookLM can handle an insane amount of content. Tens of millions of words per notebook, guys. Most AI tools choke at a fraction of that. So now comes the fun part. In this next section, I want to walk you through how to ask high-value questions. What you want to do is you want to start thinking like your notebook. Remember I said NotebookLM is like your brain, like on steroids. So we want to start asking questions in the chat section. So here is an example of a question that I might ask if I was truly running this workshop, which I will actually run this workshop. So I better start building it for real. So I'm going to go to this middle section here and I'm going to type a question. So I've said, based on all these sources, what are the top 5 opportunities small businesses have to automate manually draining tasks? So I'm going to click the blue arrow here, and it's going to answer my questions based on the sources. This is the key difference, guys. The game changer. It is limited to the sources that you have given it, which you might think, but that's a negative thing, Pam. I want it to think outside the box. No, we don't. That's what ChatGPT is for, and that's why ChatGPT keeps breaking and hallucinating. No, we want to give NotebookLM credible sources, or allow it to fish for credible sources and then think within the confines of those sources, because that is when you get the gold. Okay, so it's given me the 5 things. Number 1, automating customer support and routine inquiries. Number 2, streamlining administrative scheduling and financial management. And it doesn't even stop there. It's giving me bullet points under each point. And then, of course, these numbers really just break down each bullet point, such as use cases. So it's giving me use case number 2, automate scheduling with smart SaaS tools. So this thing, when I tell you it's the brain, it's the brain, it's the brain. It really is the brain. What NotebookLM has done is that it has given me structured answers with numbered citations. If I click on one, it jumps exactly to the paragraph that it came from. No hallucinations, no invented facts. It's not made anything up, which ChatGPT often does. Come on, we know this. It gives me evidence-based insight. So that's what those numbers are, evidence for its recommendation. So if I love the answer, I click on Save to Note, and then I can come back and use it time and time again. So you can see on the right-hand side, which is the output section, the harvest section, it has saved this first item to my notes. I can also do 3 other things here. Next to save note, I can copy what it has shared. Let's say I want to put it in a different document. I don't want to save it to these notes. I want to put it somewhere else and use it for something else. I can copy it. I can also give it a thumbs up to say good response. I can give it a thumbs down to say bad response, so that it learns how I want it to think, because remember, it is a brain. So I want to walk you through the next section, and this is called deep research. Now, if you thought the research I just did with NotebookLM was good, then wait till you see what's called deep research. With deep research, this is where NotebookLM becomes a deep researcher for you. So it will go behind closed doors for you. So I can ask questions such as this. So I'm saying on the left-hand side, I'm going to feed it this. I'm going to say, identifying blind spots small business owners typically miss when adopting AI, especially risks or long-term considerations. So before we were using the web, now we want to use deep research. So can you see I've changed that to deep research. I'm going to click the blue button, and it's going to take a little bit longer time. So deep research takes a little bit longer time, sometimes 10 minutes or more, but the result is absolutely incredible. It looks like something an analyst created or an academic would produce. So you can see on the left that it's completed step 1 of 5. So because it's deep research, it's going through 5 different steps to really dig out the information that I need. And this is why it takes longer. And you'll see when the deep research comes out that it'll include citations for every claim. And then you can then choose which of those sources you want to then import into your notebook. So this next section is all about configuring your AI. This is your custom specialist. Something that I love about Notebook AI is that it allows you to customize how it behaves. So let's say I want it to act as my own content strategy mentor, right? So it's going to be my mentor for my content. So it's going to give me all the strategy. So I need to first create a new notebook, upload my top performing content. In this case, I'm probably going to use majority of my YouTube videos and some of my amazing case studies, and I'm going to upload them. I'm also going to add my frameworks and my audience research. Then I click on Configure Chat and I give it a prompt such as this. You are a content strategy mentor. Base all advice only on sources from this notebook. Prioritize clarity, storytelling, and simplicity. If I ask something outside of this document, remind me what this notebook contains. Now, moving forward, whenever I need some content strategy or I'm thinking, I'm not quite sure what to post or what type of content to create, I come back to this specific notebook because it will behave like a specialist trained exactly on my world, not generic internet stuff. Good? All right, let's keep moving. I have a couple more things to show you. But before I do that, we've been waiting for this deep research to be completed, and it's gone through all the steps. And so here they are. It has brought in 45 sources. I did say it was deep research. Look at this. 45 sources that it has selected for me. Now, you have two options. Let me condense this just a little bit. I can either go through all the sources or I can just import them. I'm going to go ahead and click on import. And now it's going to import all the sources, the new sources, and it's going to move them to my working environment, which is this middle section here. Now, in this next section, I want to walk you through the mind map feature. I love this mind map feature because it gives me clarity. So if you want clarity, you want to click on mind map. So going back to my sources. So it's a ton of sources that it's trying to bring in, and I can already tell that I'm going to be overwhelmed by all of this research. So I'm going to go ahead. It hasn't finished bringing in the sources, so I'm not actually sure that this is going to work, but let's test it together. So I'm going to click on mind map and see what it brings out based on the sources that have already been imported. So I'm going to click over here on the right hand side and I'm going to click on mind map. But let's read what it says. It says generate an AI mind map based on your sources. So I'm going to click on it. And it's going to start generating. So it's generating the mind map based on 66 sources. So just think about this. It just blows my mind. It absolutely blows my mind. It's taken 66 sources that I haven't had time to read. I don't have a moment to go through all of these sources, but it's going to create a mind map to help me to learn the quickest way possible. Isn't this amazing? So I'm going to give it a minute to finish generating the mind map. Okay, so my uploads are done. My imports are done, rather. I can see that some sources couldn't be imported for one reason or the other. Oh, I can see why. Can you see? It says this source is behind a paywall, right? So what would usually happen if the source is behind a paywall is that you could open it, and if you have access, let's say you're a subscriber, you can just copy and paste into NotebookLM if you already have access. But I'm going to leave that because NotebookLM doesn't have access because it's behind a paywall. But let's have a look at this mind map, shall we? So I'm going to go over to the right hand side, open this to have a look at the mind map. Okay, so this is brilliant. It has condensed 66 sources into this mind map for me. So imagine if I was running a webinar or an actual workshop, or let's say I had a presentation for an organization that I'm going to be doing this for. This is so easy for me to talk through. I could start by talking first about the benefits and ROI of AI for small businesses, then implementing challenges and risks. Then I can give them a success roadmap and a strategy. Then I can walk them through the AI technology and tools that they need. And of course, a section on skills and workforce is imperative. However, there are these arrows here, and with each mind map section, if I click on the arrow, it broadens it for me and makes it bigger. It is a mind map after all. And look, I can move this around. And so it's telling me that for benefits and ROI, I want to talk about productivity and efficiency, customer experience and engagement, innovation and growth, cost management. And then let's say I'm thinking, but hold on a minute, NotebookLM, what do I say about productivity and efficiency? Well, it will show me. Again, I click on this arrow here. And again, it's walking me through for productivity and efficiency. I want to talk about automating repetitive tasks, right? This is going to save them 60% of their time. I want to talk about significant time savings. I also want to talk about reducing manual data errors. You see that? If I want to know what do I talk about when it comes to customer experience and engagement, again, I click this arrow here. Boom! In this part of my presentation, I'm going to walk through personalized content and 24/7 multilingual support, faster follow-up and responses, boost lead generation. There's so much that I could do here. And then I just clicked that by accident, but I wanted to show you anyway. I've just clicked into one of the sources and it's now brought me back to the middle section here and it's expanding it further for that specific source. Listen, guys, if your mind isn't blown right now, I might need to reach through my camera and just give you a bit of a shake and a cuddle. This thing is a game changer, and I have a feeling it's going to be my new favorite tool. I want to make a video to show you how I'm going to use NotebookLM to make my next 6 figures. Do you want to see that? Let me know in the comments. Just type in, show me how to use NotebookLM to make 6 figures, and I will record a video about that specifically. But let me jump back to the presentation. All right, so in the next section, I want to walk you through something called audio overviews. Now, audio overviews in NotebookLM are personal podcasts that teach you. Now, of course, you can monetize these podcasts and you can give them out to clients. You can give them out to your employees. You can use them in a myriad of ways. However, in this specific instance, what I love most is podcasts that teach me. I want to be working out in a gym and learning the content that I need without being distracted by YouTube ads and such. And I want to hear my own stuff, okay? Personalized to me. This is a game changer, so let me show you. NotebookLM can turn your entire notebook into a podcast episode for you or for someone else. So how does that happen? You come over here to the right-hand side and you click on Audio Overview. So you can see that it says generate an AI podcast based on your sources. So right now I have a bunch of sources, 66 sources, and I have a mind map and I have a document. Now I want a podcast. So I'm going to click on this and it's going to take a few minutes and it's generating an audio overview and we're going to listen together. So what NotebookLM is doing is that it's going to create a fully narrated conversation based on your sources. So it's like having an expert tutor read everything you have just uploaded, digested it, condensed it for your learning, and then is going to speak it to you. Oh my goodness. Isn't this amazing? So whilst we're waiting for the audio to do its thing and give us this amazing podcast, I want to show you another feature, and this is so exciting. Now, NotebookLM, not only does it give you a podcast, it can actually also give you a video overview. So these are, let's call them automatic explainer videos. Explainer videos. My goodness, anybody have some course creation ideas based off of this? I know you do. So for those of us who love visuals, NotebookLM can generate a full video lesson using slides. My audio is still generating. I don't know if it's going to generate video at the same time, but heck, I'm recording a video and I'm testing a tool. Let's find out together. So I'm going to click over here to video overview and see if it will create. Oh, brilliant. It's generating both at the same time. So this may take a while, it says. Oh, for goodness sake, NotebookLM, hurry up. Okay, the audio is ready, guys. Let's have a look at this podcast. Let's have a listen. Okay, so it's called Avoid AI Failure High ROI Blueprint. So we have interactive mode, and I'll show you what that looks like. But first, we're going to play the podcast. So I'm going to hit play.
If you're running a small or medium-sized business right now, you can just feel the atmospheric pressure change. AI isn't some futuristic tool anymore reserved for the tech giants. It's becoming essential infrastructure.
It really is.
But here's the problem. It feels huge. It feels confusing and potentially incredibly expensive.
And
my goodness, can you hear the tone? Can you hear the emotional nuances in that? That is AI, right? Can you hear that? What I love about that is, even though I may not use that specific soundbite, just by hearing it, if I were to deliver this presentation or deliver this as a webinar, just by hearing the tone, the emotional nuances, and the ebbs and flow, it already tells me exactly how I need to communicate when I'm presenting on this specific subject. Did you get that? I want to show you one more thing about this.
Well, it's completely justified. AI is more accessible than ever, sure. But the whole process is just...
So first was a male speaker, now it's a female speaker. So it's like two people who have read your content, and now they're delivering it back to you in a very interesting way so that you can digest it. But here is something amazing that I have yet to see in any other AI tool. So I'm going to start listening.
Fraught with peril if you move carelessly.
And let's say I have a question that I want to ask. Let's see what happens.
Talking about minor hiccups,
I click on interactive.
If you're running a small or medium-sized business right now,
and then as it plays, I can click on join and ask a question.
AI isn't some oh, hey there, how can we help?
Hi there. I'm so excited. Hi. So I want to ask you this.
Hello there. Welcome to the deep dive.
We're so glad you're here with us.
We were just setting the stage for why AI isn't just hype anymore.
If you tuned in a little late, we're talking about how to adopt AI without...
Oh, yeah,
I'm running a presentation on this very topic. How do I begin my presentation?
That is fantastic. We can absolutely help you with an opening strategy.
That's a great question. You need an opener that immediately cuts through the confusion.
We actually recommend starting with a powerful narrative.
Oh,
yeah,
do you
framing
now?
Is a choice between two mindsets.
You know,
I just love this. I love this. I don't know if you get as excited about AI as I do. Honestly, give me a comment below because this has blown my mind. All I'm seeing, you know, when I test these two, especially with NotebookLM, all my mind is doing is thinking of use cases, and I'll be sharing some of those with you at the end of this video. But let's move forward. So my video is still generating, so I'm going to give it a couple more minutes. We have looked at a bunch of things, including this podcast feature that, honestly, I think this is going to be huge if you can really think outside the box on this. But whilst the video is still generating, I want to move forward. So the next thing you can do with NotebookLM is using your sources. You can also create quizzes, flashcards, and reports. Now, for anyone studying, teaching, or training a team, this is gold. Imagine you do your presentation or you've run your workshop. You create a quiz. You offer up a quiz to your attendees on this very topic. How many people are doing that? It helps you to stand out massively. So this turns every notebook into a learning system, not just a place for information. So let's see that in action. So I can do flashcards, quizzes, a slide deck. I'm going to go with a quiz. So I'm going to click on this and ask it to create a quiz, or rather it's going to start creating a quiz, again, based on my sources. So you can see it's generating a quiz based on 66 sources. What human being can go through 66 sources and create a quiz from those? Nobody. Only AI can do this. So now we're still waiting for our video, and now we're also waiting for our quiz, but I'm going to move forward. So listen, guys, this video is getting long, so I want to create another piece of content all about the use cases, all about the real world use cases of NotebookLM. But I want to hear from you. I don't know if you like this content, if you're liking this tool. So let me know in the comments. Do you want to learn how to use NotebookLM to increase your revenue, make more money, increase profits, increase your productivity at work, and all of that good stuff? If you want to hear the use cases and you want me to record a video on that, listen, I've got at least a dozen use cases up my sleeve for how we are using NotebookLM. Let me know in the comments. All you have to do is comment, show me the use cases, and I will record a video. But I hope that you have loved this. If you love it, show me that you loved it by giving me a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. It helps the video get more visibility, and it means the world to me. Thank you in advance. And of course, if you haven't subscribed to this channel and you like what you see, join the family. Hit that subscribe button. I would really appreciate it. So before you go, make sure you check out this video. See you in the next one.